Welcome to Deploying a Next-Gen Firewall for Lab or Testing, Part 2, Device and Network Settings. After completing Part 1, the management interface of your Palo Alto Networks firewall should be connected to your LAN and should be accessible via the GUI. During Part 2, Device and Network Settings, we'll complete the following. We'll change the administrator accounts. We'll save the starting configuration. We'll perform the basic device setup, including some optional elements. We'll configure the network interfaces and configure DHCP and DNS servers on the firewall. In step 1, we'll create a new administrator account and delete the default account. Log in to the admin user account. It's always a good idea to change the default credentials. Go to Device Administrators and add a new super user account. Give the account a name and leave the authentication profile to none to make it a local account. Provide a password and click OK. Go ahead and commit the change. I've accelerated the video during my commits. Now is a good time to go ahead and pause while yours completes. After the commit completes, log out of the admin account and log in as a new user. Feel free to customize any of the widgets on the dashboard. Return to the Administrators page and delete the admin account. Be sure to commit the change. You can save, load, export, and import configurations under Device, Setup, and Operations. Save a copy of the running config. You'll now be able to load the starting config and commit to revert any changes. You can also export the config for backup. Under General Settings, update the host name, the domain, add an optional login banner. Also select the time zone. Optionally, you can include a latitude and longitude. Access the CSP and download the one-time password for your device. Click Get Certificate under Device Certificate and paste in the one-time password. Click OK and close and verify the certificate was downloaded. Now is a good time to commit the config. Scroll down to the Logging and Reporting settings. Under the Predefined Reports tab, select all predefined reports and click OK. Under the Wildfire tab, select General Settings. Check Report Benign Files and Report Grayware Files. Click OK. On the left, select Certificates under Certificate Management. We will first generate a local CA certificate for the firewall. Do not use the firewall hostname or IP in the CA certificate. The second certificate will be for the firewall and will be used by the management interface. Sign the certificate with the local CA. Open the Lab CA and check Trusted Root CA and click OK. Under Certificate Management, open the SSL TLS Service Profile page. Click Add. Name the profile and select the local firewall certificate. Make any changes necessary to the protocol settings. Return to the Certificates page and select the local CA. At the bottom, click Export Certificate. Once you have the certificate downloaded, follow the instructions for your operating system or browser to install the certificate as trusted. To apply the new TLS profile to the Management console, go to Device, Setup, and the Management tab. Select General Settings. In the SSL TLS Services Profile dropdown, select the newly created profile. After the next commit, the management web server will be restarted. You'll need to refresh your browser window. When you access the management console the next time, the connection should show secure. If you access the certificate information, you should see the firewall certificate nested under the trusted VM Lab CA certificate that you installed previously. Next, enable the application block page. To do this, go to the Device tab, the Response Pages page, click on Disabled next to Application Block Page, and check Enable Application Block Page. Next, go to the Log Settings page. For each of the log types, create a default logging policy. You have the option to configure log forwarding. Commit your changes. Depending on model and subscriptions, it's sometimes necessary to update plugins. Plugins can be accessed from the Plugins page. Always remember to check now before installing any plugins. Based on our deployment plan, interface 1.1 is going to be our public-facing interface. Select Ethernet 1.1 Under Interface Type, select Layer 3. For Virtual Router, choose Default. Under Security Zone, click New Zone. Name your new zone. Under Zone Protection, select New Zone Protection Profile. Name the Zone Protection Profile and use the Best Practices Guide found online to configure flood protection. Because this is an external zone, under Reconnaissance Protection, we're going to enable all 3 scans and change the action from Alert to Block. Under Packet-Based Attack Protection and IP Drop, select Strict and Loose Source Routing and Unknown and Malformed. Under TCP Drop, select Mismatched Overlapping TCP Segment and TCP Timestamp. Select the IPv4 tab. If your gateway uses DHCP for IP address, a default route will automatically be created. If your gateway uses a static address, like we'll use in the lab, we'll need to manually create a default route at a later step. Click on the Advanced tab and select New Interface Management Profile. For the external interface, we're going to create a ping-only profile. Repeat the process for Ethernet 1.2. This will be our LAN interface. For the internal zone protection profile, we're going to omit flood protection. We're going to enable all 3 scan profiles under reconnaissance, but leave the action at alert. Under packet-based attack protection and IP drop, we're going to select spoofed IP address, strict and loose source routing, unknown, and malformed. Under TCP drop, we're going to select mismatched and time-stamped. For an internal trusted zone, we're going to enable user ID and device ID. Configure the LAN gateway IP address. Create a new interface management profile that includes ping and response pages. Repeat the process for the Wi-Fi interface, Ethernet 1.3, using the existing internal zone protection profile and the response pages interface management profile. Clicking Zones on the left will show the 3 new zones we created as well as the interfaces. On the Virtual Routers page, select the default router. You should see all 3 interfaces associated with the default virtual router. If you use the static IP address for your public interface, you'll need to add a static route for your default gateway. If you need to modify the internal or external zone protection profiles, they can be found under Network Profiles and Zone Protection. Perform a commit to deploy the changes. Under Device and DHCP, click Add. Select Interface 1.2 for our LAN interface, which is on network 192.168.1.0. Set your scope in your DHCP options. The gateway and DNS server will be the IP address of the Ethernet 1.2 interface. Repeat the steps to create a DHCP server for the Wi-Fi zone or Ethernet 1.3. Go to the DNS proxy page and add a new proxy. Use your ISP's DNS servers for primary and secondary. Optionally add DNS proxy rules for local resolution. You can also add a static entry for your management interface. This will allow you to access the interface using the fully qualified domain name. That completes Phase 2, Device and Network Configuration.